Hey guys, it's Clay. We're back here again with the Jacob Gray Black Edition, and we're going to do our parts walkthrough as we always do on my reviews here. And we've got this gun busted wide open with every component part stripped out of this gun. And we said we'll step through each one of the parts, and then we'll just kind of talk some stuff, and then some stuff we'll just kind of skip over, and then show off some of the wear patterns, and then we'll wrap this dude up. So without further ado, let's get back up into the top of the slide. So one of the first checks I like to do, flip the gun over, and I like to check up here, check for any different abnormal wear patterns. So we got some wear here up where the lugs lock up into the slide. No issues that I can see in there, just some discoloration. Back here on the disconnector rail, super buttery smooth, guys. Just really nice. Got a little bevel right there on the, this comes for the, so that disconnector can just get up over on that rail right there. But outside of that, it's really nicely done. Don't see any issues for wear and tear on the inside of the slide. I want to show you this as one of the little fitment things that I like to show. So make sure I line this up right. So this is my firing pin stop, and just want to show kind of the fitment piece on this. There's no slop or wiggle on this, dude. It's really nicely done here. Just a little small parts fitment check that I like to do. All right, moving on to the firing pin and the firing pin spring. All right, so on the springs, boys, we just want to check to make sure there is no binding or kinks or bends or anything. Everything looks good and buttoned up on that particular part. Moving on to the firing pin, sometimes you just want to make sure that this is straight, not bent. There's no damaged or nicks or anything, because sometimes when these firing pins hit those hard primers, man, they can kind of jack up your firing pin. But everything looks good and buttoned up on mine. No issues there. Moving on to the extractor, just want to kind of look, want to clean out, make sure you get cleaned out behind that hook. When you get a lot of rounds on these guns, it's kind of gummed up and they'll start having extraction issues. Looks like they took a little bit of a file here and kind of provided a little bit of a relief angle right here. It kind of just aids that round getting up behind that hook to hold that case in there, and then extract it out when it's spent. Also want to check tension. This one's got a nice little bow in it. I didn't see any issues. Let me know on the shooting footage if you guys see anything. Sometimes it just hits off the old optic and kind of runs in a weird direction, but everything looked good as far as I could tell. All right, here, let's move on to the recoil assembly. So this is got a keyed reverse plug, got a little bit of wear on the sides here, but those are high friction points, so those aren't too bad. Once again, on our springs, we just want to check to make sure that there is no bends or kinks. Everything looks good on the recoil spring there. Next up is the actual toolless guide rod on this one. This is version 1 had the tooled. This is toolless. This is one of the revisions that they added to the Black Edition and the new Hex model as it went out. This was based off of customer feedback. So all you want to do right here, boys, is just kind of check to make sure your spring tension is good on that gun or on that part. So no issues there that I can tell. Moving on to the barrel, we got some wear here up on the lugs, but it's not too bad. And then we got some wear up here on the hood. This is a black nitride finish, I do believe, and it's really nicely done. No issues. Check down here with your barrel link and your feet. That looks good. We want to check the feed ramps here. Nice and buttery smooth. I said the coating has come off on this one, but I can feel the difference in texture from I rub my finger on the side versus I rub it on the ramps. Definitely been polished before this one was coated, so really nice job. I haven't had any issues with the rounds. I said the guns ran perfectly, so nothing to to be concerned about there on the barrels. Really buttoned up nice. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's move on to the frame. This is an all aluminum frame. As I was telling you, this the action on this gun is super smooth. Hopefully you can see in the light, you can kind of see the reflection on that polishing work that they've done here on the rails here. It's really super smooth. I don't really have any, we got a little bit of wear here. It's not too bad, but most of the wear here is back on the ejector, so the coating has definitely come off on the side of the ejector, and then we've got some wear as that slide is trying to get up over the frame here onto the disconnector. But typical wear patterns, no issues that I can see, metal shavings or anything crazy on that, but really nicely done. It's very super lightweight too on that aluminum frame, and really digging that. I said this is a 30-ounce gun. It's I said I could see somebody definitely wanting to carry this one every day. Now, let's get, what do we want to go into next here? Let's get into the great MIM debate, right? So here are the three MIM parts that are in this build. You can kind of see they've got their molds. You can kind of see where those little marks right there. That's when they're taking these out of the mold, so I understand. And then here is the sear that goes up against the hammer hooks and that critical engagement surface. You can kind of tell like they've done some work. You can see how that's polished. Like these gunsmiths been in here on that primary angle, stoning that down, and then on the secondary, it looks like they've been polishing that up there too. Boys, you can tell. Here's another one. You can see the gunsmith's been in here. They polished the head of the disco right here. It just aids that smoothness of that action on that gun, man. Really nicely done. I said I can tell it was kind of polished down here as well on that. Now, as far as like my thoughts on the mimming, I've been doing more homework, more research. I want to bring you guys educated kind of thoughts here, and what I've learned is that I'm just not smart enough to, or educated enough to make an informed decision on, what's better, what's worse. Like I said, I've had instances where I've had tool steel parts fail on me. I've never had any MIM parts fail on me that I'm aware of. So once again, boys, you've got MIM parts in some of these striker-fired pistols that law enforcement or military folks like myself have used over, years of training and experience, and I haven't had any issues. So I like to continue this debate. So if, I'd like to know what your experience is with between these parts, right? Like I want to get kind of a consensus. Like, have you had any MIM parts breaking your guns? Have you had any tool steel parts breaking your guns? Like, these parts are only as good as they're made, right? So like if you've got, like I said, I reached out to Jacob Gray. They're extremely confident in these three MIM parts. And kind of my rationale, I guess, if I'm having some thought about it, I think from a business perspective, if I'm Jacob Gray, right, and I have a lifetime warranty on this particular firearm, and one of these three parts is a high failure break part, like where I have RMA after RMA after RMA that keeps getting sent back because the hammer broke or the sear broke or the disconnector broke, like that costs Jacob Gray money for shipping both ways. It costs money to tie up resources and customer service to be able to take in the calls and bring in the broken warranty firearm, right? Then you've got to tie up a gunsmith to go in here and do whatever it needs to happen to be able to replace the part. I think if in a world where if they knew that was happening, they would just go ahead and change, and they thought that they were that much more superior, they would go ahead and change that out. Just a rational thought. And then my other probably rational thought would be, from the owner's perspective, is shoot your guns, guys. Like, minimum. That's why on like my reviews, I like to put, my goal, my target's 1,500 rounds. Like I like to shoot. And these last kind of reviews have went way over that because of just life. And, a lot of times I just like to shoot, guys. Like, I like to do these YouTubes. I get a lot of enjoyment out of helping people, find their way in the 2011 market and getting them into something really cool, and a really nice 2011. But at the end of the day, boys, like you got to shoot your guns. Like it is important, especially if you're going into like home defense or something serious use like concealed carry. Boys, you got to make sure that these three parts right here that everybody's so concerned about, they're vetted, right? Like I've shot this gun. Said I've got 3,400 rounds somewhere in that vicinity. I would have no problem carrying this gun out in public, and if I needed to actually use it, I feel confident in this gun because I've shot the ever living snot out of this thing. I mean, that is what you have to do, and you should do that for any gun that you own, Glock, Sig, whatever. It does not matter if it's 2011 or not, boys. Like you have got to verify your reliability on your sample size. Like I've seen Glocks go bad. Like you can get a lemon Glock, guys. Everybody talks about how reliable Glocks are. Yeah, they're super reliable, on a large sample size. They're also producing a shit ton of those things. And so you not think that they're sending arm, like you go on the Reddit, dude, and look at all the problems that dudes have with Glocks. And they're not, modified Glocks. Some of them are, factory Glocks, right, that they're doing RMAs on. So like I said, guys, go out and shoot your guns, validate the reliability of your parts and your sample size. And, the great part about it is, like I said, if these fail or the slide fails or the frame, whatever the case that happens on this, Jacob Gray's got your back, man. That's a lifetime warranty on this gun. Staccato's got a lifetime warranty. You know who doesn't have a lifetime warranty? Bull Armory. They have a 1-year warranty. So if you're over here babying your Bull, which also has MIM parts in it, by the way, if you're over here babying your Bull Armory and you have not validated that their mimming process on their sample size is good, boys, you better get out to the range, start shooting some rounds, boys. Because let me tell you what, once that warranty goes out on that Bull, you have a slide go down or something extremely catastrophic, you're SOL, man. Yeah, it's just a fact. Like, that's why I was saying it's important to get in here and shoot your guns, boy. I cannot stress that enough. Like, I'm not going to be that dude who's like, oh, you need to go and train concealed carry, pulling from appendix and shooting 7 yards and like getting really serious about that. And if you want to do that, and that's cool. Like, I do that. I don't do it probably nearly as much as I need to, but like, I just like to shoot guns. Like, I nerd out over this stuff. Like, I eat, sleep, breathe guns like all day long. And so that fact of the matter is that you get out and you shoot them and you have a good time, and you once again you vet all this stuff, boys. That's important, right? So I'll get off my high horse about my MIMs and set those aside, and we're going to continue pressing through their walkthrough here. All right, so here is my bump safeties, right? Here was what was causing me problems. You can kind of see, hopefully here, you see how this is squared off, right? That corner right there, that was what was digging my palm. This really hurts me really bad. Where I get in on my hand, it's about right in there. Just hurts. And, hopefully Jacob Gray, I know this wasn't a problem for everybody, but for me and some other people, I do know that this was an issue, and that might be just a big hand issue. That could be a grip issue, whatever, or combination thereof. But I hope they do go and look at these in the future for future revisions. And then once again, these boys are getting changed out on my model here, which is, it's cool. Let's see here. So we got this is a functional grip safety here. It's got a little texturing, so that's pretty neat. No issues on that one. Here's your mainspring. It's got a bunch of dead skin and chalk from shooting this dude. I think, or his mainspring housing. I think the mainspring on this guy is a 19. I'm not 100% positive, but it's got some nice heft on that. That is definitely steel. Here is a sear spring, saying 3.5, tuned to perfection. Here is your trigger, and we're one-piece trigger, shoot and bow together. So there's no like screw here that screws it on like an Atlas or whatever. You can kind of thread it on this one-piece design. As you can see, it's got some really nice texture on the front, but there is no adjustability on this thing whatsoever. This is their idea is they mill this out of one piece, and they have it spec'd to where it gives you the nice pre-travel and the over-travel. And once again, boys, I'm just so used to a red dirt. I really love the pre-travel on this trigger. Once again, the reset was a little bit long for me. Like I said, I've got some guns there, boys, super on my Vulcan. Boy, that thing is super short. But once again, your mileage may vary of how you like to set up your guns, but just something to note. All right, what else do we got here? Okay, we've got just a couple little more parts that we want to walk through over here on this left side, and we're going to save the best for last. So here's your mag release. It's a low profile. It's got a little bit of texture on there, not too bad. Doesn't create any hot spots when you're shooting. Here is the tooled steel slide stop. No issues there. It's got a little bit of texture on there to be able to get up on there for your slide release stop. And then here is the notorious front trigger guard screw that everybody loves to talk about on the old Jacob Gray, right? Okay. Once again, boys, I get the perspective piece on the aesthetics. Not debating that, right? To each their own. However, if you like to do this piece right here, all piling up your parts and shit like I like to have, boys, this gun was so easy to take apart. I didn't have to worry about stripping out those screws. Like, I did still put my heat gun on it and just loosen up the thread locker, but Yeah, like functionality wise of taking your gun and servicing your gun, dude, this is money. Aesthetically, I get the debate, man, but to each their own, as I say. All right, moving on to the last part, and this is my favorite part of the 2011, this Jacob Gray, as I told you in my first part one. I love this gun, or this grip module on this guy's. Like, here is, we'll cover texture here first. Like, um, they went in, they made the revisions on the texture piece, and I think I've determined, just based on what I've read and just kind of seen, I think the people who actually owned the version one, they weren't really unhappy with the slick sides. I don't think they were. I think the reason, I mean, there might have been a few people, but the vast majority of people I saw didn't take issue. They're like, "Oh man, this is good, man. I don't have any issues with it," and really liked the grip module. Right? I think why they changed it was because of the people who didn't that didn't own the gun, that was deterred from buying the gun because it didn't have that texture, and they thought, in their in their mindset that they must have texture on all sides of the gun. I understand that debate, man, but once again, boys, like this grip texture on there's plenty for carry. It's still smooth, but it's still grippy, like no issues there. But as you can see, they put this back on the CNC machine and just make those cross hatches, and gave everybody what they wanted as part of that feedback and that revision, man. Like that's what we're driving to. We want to, maybe see nitpicky on some of these times, like we're going through these guns, but like this is feedback, right? This is how we push this platform forward through discussions like this, positive discussions. This isn't, you know, crap on the crap on the company because they missed in an area right here. It's saying like, hey man, like I really like this part, but like this part maybe you could have looked at doing something different. And you also got to remember too, everybody's different, right? So like, you try to get, maybe like we say in the military, sometimes you try to get to an 80% solution, and the other 20%, you'll figure out as long as you go along the way. But yeah, really liking the grip texture and the revisions that they made here. But here is what I really like about this grip module, man. Like all of like the intricate cuts, like they made this little cut so you can slide your thumb up to be able to get to that mag release button a little bit quicker, and you can feel the ridge. It just kind of guides your thumb right in there and hit that. I get the design on this. You look at the cutouts right here. I like this, man. This is really cool. And then you flip the grip module over, and then you kind of see this piece right here. It's flat, and then this gorgeous double undercut, man. Like I said, the ergos on this thing, when you pull up on your hand, like I'm really excited to change out the grip safety, or the thumb safeties on it. I think it's going to make this gun, for me anyways, to be able to shoot so much better, because I can feel how good my ergos are, or my hands fit to this gun. And then and there was somebody else too on like Reddit the other day that was on that Hex post that was saying that this isn't made very well. Dude, I am telling you, like I've got my hands on just about every grip module in the 2011 space, outside of like two, like Lone Star Innovations and the Miller Precision ones that just came out. Outside of that, man, I've got experience on all of these. I doubt that that person had experience on this grip module. They were just making uninformed comments and opinions about something that is clearly they've never had any experience with. Because if you felt this, I own enough of these 2011s and actually have real world experience with the Jacob Gray to give you an honest assessment of the build quality on this grip module. It's really well made, guys. Like I've got another one that's right here from my old Vulcan, man, and both of these are aluminum. This really reminds me of the Icarus Precision magwell, man, where they built this thing for aluminum, like I said, for carry, to make this really super lightweight. It's got that integrated magwell, dude. I really, really, really love this grip module, man. I can't say it enough. But anyways, I'm gonna get off my high horse. That is my last component. I don't want to make this too long. I'm already at 20 minutes, so thank you so much, guys, for liking this type of content. I really do like to showcase this type of stuff to show you what you get in these builds, man. The next thing that I've got, like I was saying, it was a little late the other night when I was doing my closing up my shooting footage review, but here, Thomas, call out for my boy Thomas right there. Here is the Defender up close and personal. You can kind of see it. The review on this one is coming. This is the 4 1/4 Defender model from Custom Works LLC. Whew. Oh, this thing, boy, is just, I cannot wait till you guys get your orders in, man. And you get to see how great that gun is, boys. That gun is so nice, man. It's so nice. But outside, guys, that is it. Look out for my Defender review coming here shortly. And that's it. We'll catch you on the next one, y'all. Cheers.